Hello everyone, my name is Carson Odell, and this is the benefits of catch and release fishing. Imagine your favorite fishing spots with no fish left. The peaceful waters you once loved are now empty. The thrill of the catch is gone. This isn't just a distant problem, it's happening right now in lakes and rivers across the country due to overfishing. If we don't act, we risk losing the sport we love. That's why today I want to persuade you that catch and release fishing is essential for maintaining fish populations, preserving ecosystems, and ensuring that future generations can enjoy fishing just like we do. Think about the last time you caught a fish. The feeling of excitement, the challenge, the reward. Now imagine that experience is taken away from you. Not just from you, but from everyone. The reality is that this could happen if we don't change the way that we fish. Overfishing is a major problem. Some species are disappearing from certain waters because of excessive catch and keep fishing. Take bass for an example. Many U.S. lakes have seen a sharp decline in their populations. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, overfishing threatens 30% of global fish stocks. If we continue taking fish faster than they can reproduce, we could cause irreversible damage to our fisheries. And it's not just recreational fishing. Commercial fishing is a massive issue as well. In some parts of the world, entire species have been pushed to the brink of extinction. Atlantic cod, once a staple of the fishing industry, saw its population collapse due to overharvesting. If we don't take responsibility now, we could see similar consequences happen in our own waters. The good news is that there is a solution. Catch and release fishing. When practiced correctly, it allows fish to grow, reproduce, sustain future generations of fish. Larger fish in particular produce more eggs, helping replenish the population. Many fishing tournaments already enforce catch and release rules because they understand how vital it is for keeping waters full of fish. A study published by the Fisheries Conservation Foundation found waters where catch and release is practiced seen increases of up to 40% over just a few years. This means by making this small change, we are actively rebuilding the fish populations that we depend on. Think of this. Every fish you release today is a fish that someone else, or maybe even you, could catch again in the future. The simple act of releasing a fish safely could make all the difference. Catch and release fishing isn't just about maintaining fish numbers. It is also plays a huge role in environmental conservation. When fish population decline, it throws an entire ecosystem out of balance. Predators lose their food sources. Predators lose their food sources, and invasive species can take over natural habitats. In the Great Lakes, the decline of native fish due to overfishing allowed invasive species like zebra mussels to spread unchecked, causing millions of dollars in environmental damage. Conservationists recommend to catch and release as one of the most effective ways to protect aquatic life. The American Fisheries Society actively promotes it as a method to ensure sustainable fisheries for future generations. Some states even require catch and release for certain fish species to prevent their extinction. Healthy fish populations mean a healthier environment. By making this simple change, we are actively protecting the ecosystem from plants to predators. But catch and release only works if done properly. To maximize its benefits, we need to follow the few best practices. First, use the right equipment. Barbless hooks makes it easier to remove the hook without injuring the fish, and rubberized landing nets help protect their delicate scales and slime coating. Second, handle the fish correctly. Keep them in water as much as possible. Second, avoid squeezing them or touching their gills. Lastly, if a fish seems exhausted after the fight, revive it before releasing it by gently holding it in the water until it swims away on its own. Studies show that following these steps improve survival rates from 70% to nearly 98%. Think of it this way: catch and release isn't just about letting fish go. It's about making sure it survives to be caught another day. Every small step makes a difference. These practices aren't just theoretical. They have real-world results. Some states have seen fish populations recover dramatically after enforcing catch and release regulations. For an example, trout populations in conservation areas have increased because of responsible fishing efforts. In Yellowstone National Park, where catch and release policies have been strictly enforced, native fish populations have tripled in the last decade. This proves that a simple shift in habitats can drastically impact an entire ecosystem. It's clear that catch and release isn't a suggestion, it's a proven method for protecting our waters. I want to share with you guys a personal story from a few years ago. I went fishing at a lake that I had been visiting since I was a kid. I remember always pulling in fish after fish with my grandfather. But this time, I only caught one fish. It made me super sad. There was an older gentleman that was fishing next to us. He said that overfishing had devastated this lake and the fish population. From that moment on, that one little conversation stuck with me. And I realized that if we don't make changes, we won't have anything left to pass down to future generations. Catch and release isn't just about saving fish. It's about saving memories, traditions, and a way of life. So let's take a moment to reflect. Catch and release fishing is not just a suggestion, it's a responsibility. It helps maintain fish populations, supports environmental conservation by making small changes in how we fish. We can make a big difference and experience the joy of fishing by making small changes in how we fish. Imagine taking your children or grandchildren fishing in 20 years and seeing the waters full of life because of the choices we made today. The way we fish today determines what's left for tomorrow. The question will be, what will the generation that saves fishing? Will we be the generation that saves fishing, or the one that lets it disappear? Now I challenge you. The next time you go fishing, practice ethical catch and release. Follow the best practices that we discussed today, like using barbless hooks. This is one of the most important things to me because I remember one time I went to the state park, McKinney Falls. I was fishing for trout and I used a barbed hook, and then whenever I went to release it, I injured its mouth, and then it ended up not swimming back away, so I had to keep that one. So now from that day on, I used the barbless hooks to help protect the fish. So you need to follow the best practices to encourage others to do the same thing, and share this knowledge with your fellow anglers. Spread awareness about responsible fishing and be part of the solution. Let's be the generation that protects our waters and keeps our favorite fishing spots full of life. I just really hope that y'all all go into your fishing stuff and make sure that they're all barbless. That's one really key important thing. Thank you all for listening. I hope y'all enjoyed learning about my speech.